Hey everybody, this is Sarah Harnish. I'm a Young Living Diamond and I'm the author of the Game Plan books, and you are in the second day of Game Plan Boot Camp. Congratulations, you've survived the first day. That's huge. There were 24,000 of you that got on, and I'm so grateful. You took Game Plan all the way up to number 13 and 15 on the Amazon charts again last night. That's out of 1.8 million books. And the only girl in the top 20 again for business. And I just have a heart of gratitude for you guys. It makes me smile and grin ear to ear that there's a network marketing book, and specifically a Young Living book, on top of a non-network marketing site, right? Like Amazon. It's just awesome. Absolutely awesome. Makes my heart super happy. So, what are we doing tonight? We're jumping right into day 2. If you are following along, there's only 2 tools that you need to be able to do this. The first one is the second edition Game Plan book. It's a little bigger than the first one, about a 25% bigger, 70 new pages. This you can find on Amazon, or you can get it off my website, but my website doesn't ship as fast as Amazon Prime. So if you're wanting it for the boot camp, you might want to grab it off of Prime. If you want to do it with your leaders, it's half off on my website, so I save you a lot of money. Amazon doesn't let me do that. The other tool you need is a workbook, and also it should say updated second edition at the top of the book. So, you guys ready for night 2? We're doing this in double time, which means double the reading, double the worksheets, double the trouble, like double all of it, right? And so tonight we're going to be covering chapter 3 and 4 in the Game Plan book out of 25 chapters. You might be like, Sarah, wait a second. Like, I like you, but your math isn't very good because there's 25 chapters in the Game Plan book, and if you do 2 chapters a night, you go for 12 nights, then you're only covering 24 out of the 25. It's because the 25th chapter is just an encouragement chapter. So we're probably going to do a quick overview on it the last night or just leave it off. Every single night, I offer an oil of the night, and I was feeling a little ADHD today in my oil selection. I couldn't really narrow it down to one oil because it's the night we're talking about speaking. And I've had a really weird vantage point this year because I've been in 31 cities in the last 9 months. Corporate had me speaking at Silver Retreat. I was out in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore, and got to hang out with some amazing friends out there. I have been in Mexico this year, in Guadalajara, Hawaii, Alaska. We've been in 20 states, so been all over the place. And the neat thing is that it gives me a really cool perspective and vantage point on what your guys' thoughts and needs are, because I've listened to you for the last year in my book signing line, so I know exactly what your struggles are. And I can tailor and custom fit business tools directly to you. The other thing is this put me on stage a lot, and I know most of you guys are getting on because your leaders recommended getting on this, or you just happen to see a post from a friend and you're checking it out and you don't know me personally. But I can tell you something about me personally. I am terrified of speaking. Terrified of speaking. I have no problem doing a Facebook Live, and I've got no problem talking to a wall, which is what I've done for 22 years in radio. But I really have a hard time standing on a stage and looking at 2,000 people staring right back at me. Matter of fact, it scares me more than anything else on the earth. I would rather skydive and jump out at 12,000 feet than stand on a stage and speak in front of people. I would rather have tarantulas crawling all over me or venomous spiders rather than standing on a stage and speaking in front of people. But God has a really good sense of humor. And so here I am. I've been all over the place. So I have 5 oils that I use when I go on stage, and I don't ever go on stage with less than 100 drops of oil on my body because it's that legit. Like, I oil at that level when I go out because I'm like, come on. Oh, you guys are guessing. This is good. Clarity, valor, brain power. Ooh, brain power is a good one, and brain power does make my top 5 sometimes. I will tell you, it does. I did focus a lot on brain oils tonight. Valor made it back, because Valor's my number 1 oil. I can't speak without this little ditty. I know we did it last night, so it's okay. I'm going to give you 4 new ones for tonight. I didn't promise you the oil of the night would only be 1 oil. See, my goal is to quadruple your oils collection by the end of boot camp. So the second oil that I will never go on stage without, and you'll understand why I'm telling you this in a minute for our second night of boot camp, is Northern Lights Black Spruce. This one right here, Oil of Courage. I love Gary Young's story when he released this oil, he was talking about what it took to be able to distill Northern Lights. And I had the honor of going to the Northern Lights Black Spruce Farm right before Diamond Retreat this year and doing some bottling of our own oils up there. And it just, oh, the smell, guys. Oh, my word. You think the bottle's amazing. Wait until you lay on a wood-chipped pile of Northern Lights Black Spruce wood chips and then walk into a distillery where they're distilling this sucker all day long. This is the oil of courage. Think about what a Northern Lights Black Spruce tree has to endure in the Arctic Circle, right? Minus 80-degree temperatures. Its roots go 14 feet down, and it's strong, and it's sturdy, and it's steadfast, and it faces those winds, and it's just an incredible tree, absolutely incredible tree. And so this is an incredible oil for speaking. Very, very good oil for speaking, especially if you can hear my knees knocking all the way from Alaska when I'm speaking, which is why I bring the third oil up on stage with me. That is Northern Lights Stress Away. Yes, I know this is green, but it's not the same shade of green. Stress Away is amazing, amazing, amazing oil, especially when you're standing there and you're like, nope, I don't got it tonight, can't do it, walking back off the stage. And so that's the third one I bring up with me. Cedarwood or Brain Power. I kind of alternate these two out. Love this oil. This is my thinking oil. It's my brain oil. You ever get on and you're just like, squirrel? I can't remember what I was saying or where I left off, right? Well, when you're on stage, you really can't do that, especially when you're on stage talking for 3 hours straight and you just got a couple pages of notes in front of you. You really can't lose your train of thought. You need to stay focused. And I don't speak off of PowerPoints. I have pictures up there, but I don't speak off of them, so I have no speech on the slides. And so having this is very, very helpful to me. And then you guys probably wouldn't have thought of this one because it's a kid oil, but it's actually one of my favorite speaking oils. So maybe one of these 5 will resonate with you when you're teaching your own classes. And that is Genius. Genius oil is just a fantastic, fantastic oil for speaking. I really like that one in the diffuser, but I also just douse myself in it. I put it on the crown of my head. I drop it down my arms. I put it all over my neck so I can smell it when I'm on stage. I use a lot of oil, My name is Sarah Harnish, and I'm an oil addict. All right. You guys ready? We're going to jump right in here. This is chapter 3, a quick start training guide. You guys are probably like, hey, this boot camp isn't so bad. I looked ahead at the assignments for tonight and there's only like 2 pages of reading. I can do this, but this is a 350-page book, so don't worry. There will be days where I kick your face in with the reading, okay? It's just not tonight. Just not tonight. Tonight you have a pretty light night of reading. If you're used to me doing round tables tonight, obviously I'm not going to be doing one this week or next week because I'm doing boot camp instead. So don't flip out. They will be back when we are done. I just wanted to hone in and train you on the second edition. So let's start right with chapter 3, a quick start training guide. If why do a young living business is the first question that I'm asked, then almost immediately after the second question is how. All right, Sarah, I got it. Like, I got all your reasons for doing the business. We went through that last night. I think I got it. I think I understand. The willable income thing has definitely got my attention. I checked out the income disclosure guide. Holy bananas. Whoa, okay. Now I'm listening to you. But how do I do it? Yeah, I get it. You made Diamond in 2.5 years. You're a rock star. You know what you're doing. And I don't know a lot of people. And there's like 8 people in my church that are all sharing oils. And I live in a town with 100 people. And I don't know anybody. And I don't understand how to do this. This is one of those things where you got to go find all your friends and your family. And you got to sell to your friends and family. I'm not up for that. I don't want to sell things. It's really not my cup of tea. Matter of fact, my own sister said that to me a couple of weeks ago. Not my sister that's almost a platinum, but my other sister. We're going to debunk all of that stuff. Most of it's going to be tomorrow night because I'm going to punch you in the face on excuses, all right? But we're just going to talk about the literal logistics tonight of how to do it. How to do it, right? How do you build this thing? All right, because when I first started my business, when I first began, I told you a bit of my story last night. I'm mom of 5, homeschooling mom. I had just moved 800 miles from my family, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I had lived there my whole life. I lived in Chicago for 30 years, and 5 generations of my family's from Chicago. So everybody I knew was 800 miles away. We're talking all my college friends, all my high school friends, all my friends from when John and I were dating, like every single person that I knew from that realm of my life was 5 states away from me, and it was not easy to teach a class, and I really don't have a lot of technical aptitude. So doing Facebook classes at the time, really, I wasn't very good at it. And so I knew my way of sharing was going to be in-person classes. There are many, many ways of sharing, and we'll also hit that during one of the trainings tonight. In person is not the only way. But that was the way that really resonated with me. But how do you do it when your whole friend circle is 800 miles away? It's like, I think the first thing is you got to get out of your head that the only people you can talk to are the people that you went to school with, that are your cousins, that are your family members. You got to banish that. That's amateur thinking. Okay, when it comes to network marketing. The reality is you can talk to anybody who's your market, right? Now, if you're selling leggings, that's probably a woman. All right, I hope it's a woman. If you're selling makeup, also maybe likely a woman. If you're selling nutritional supplements for the mature, then you're probably targeting the over 65 crowd. If you're selling books for children, then it's probably the under 10 crowd, right? The nice thing with oils is it's everyone. Literally everyone, every single human on the earth, needs oils. Because every single human on the earth needs respiratory support, needs immune support, needs a little stress away in their life, right? Needs to think clearly when they're talking to people. Every single person that you meet is going to need sunscreen, and every person you meet is going to need bug spray. And every person you need is going to need supplements, right? So that means you have 100% market share. Doesn't matter if it's a newborn baby or a 94-year-old. I have a 94-year-old almost silver on my team right now, right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they're male or female. Doesn't matter, if they have no exposure to oils. Everybody needs oils. So when you walk out your front door, you open that door and you look outside, you are going to see humans. Talk to the humans. That's how you build your business, right? It doesn't have to just be your mom and your best friend. It can be anybody that you make contact with. People who are in Lowe's, people who are in Walmart, people who are sitting next to you on the airplane, people who are mowing their yards outside, people who are on the soccer field with you when your kids start soccer next month, or on the basketball court with you, or people who volunteer at the animal shelter, or the people in your small group, all right, or the people that go to your church, the people you volunteer with side by side, the people 8 cubicles over, the people at your job 3 floors down, the post office lady. Everybody at the post office should be signed to your oils team because of all the mailings that you do, right? It doesn't matter if you've known them before. And I'm going to do some training with you on how to talk to people that you don't know. It's okay. It's all right. That's how you build your businesses, when you get out of that amateur mindset that it can only be the 18 people you have regular contact with, right? You just have to learn the language to approach them so that you're not scared. The market is not just wide. The market is enormous. Right? Enormous. And we're going to talk about saturation too, because it's another thing that I hear a lot about, but we're not going to talk about that tonight. Let's just stay focused on the how, all right? So you guys know to do your business, you just have to talk to humans, right? That's the literal how, and I'll do some more training with you on how to do that. But let's talk about what a class looks like. If you're teaching a class, let's say you don't even have a market, you don't even have anybody you can talk to yet. Right now, you haven't figured that out yet. You're getting there, and we'll get to that point. But right now, we're just going to focus on speaking to people, right? Speaking to people. Melissa, I love this. Every single vet at work that says they have something going on, I pull up my little bag of oils and oil all over them. That is how you build a diamond ship, Melissa. Bam, right there, nailed it. Okay, nailed it. That's how you do it. You got to love people more than your fear. You got to love people more than your fear of them saying no to you, more than your fear of them rejecting you. You got to love people more than your fear of no, not now, which doesn't always mean no forever, right? You got to love people more than you're afraid of rejection. You got to. Deborah, I don't believe that you have no market. I really don't, unless you live in the Amazon rainforest and it is 1,500 miles to the next road. You have a market. Okay, you have a market. I swear to you with everything in me, you have a market. You just have to get over fear. That's the bigger issue. Fear is the bigger issue. All right, let's go back to how to actually do this, because I'm only on the first page of my notes and I got 8 minutes left and I've got to end in 20 minutes tonight. So in the back of the game plan, the back of this book, there are a lot of appendixes. There's about 70 pages of appendixes. And guys, they are liquid gold. We're not going to have time to go through all of them in this boot camp because of how tight I'm keeping the content in it. But I really, really want you to go take a look at these appendixes and flip through them. Appendix A is how I got to diamond. It's the whole system is Appendix A. I literally read that 101 script 288 times, and then on 289 I made diamond. There is no magic diamond veggie cap filled with diamond vitality oils that you can take that's just going to get you all the way to diamond. You got to roll up your sleeves and get out there and share oils with people. You got to get out there and love people, and when you do that, you have this massive market in front of you. Every person you see is a potential person who could be on your team, okay? Potential person who could be on that team. So what is that 101 script? It's the who, what, when, where, why, how of oils. It's one mom sitting on a couch talking to another mom. In radio, in my training, my background, 22 years, 60,000 newscasts I've delivered, 39 radio stations I've worked for. Every single time you sit in that chair, the first thing you ask yourself is, where are my people? Where's the audience? How do I relate to them? How can I bring up the water cooler talk? How do I go from this studio to sitting in their car with them? And that's exactly what I did when I wrote that script, right? It's relating to them on their level. Is this a fad? Is it safe for me to use on my kids? Where did they come from? Are you just trying to sell me something? Like, talk to me. Talk to me about this stuff. I do have an interest in it. And I have an interest in you, but I'm not sold on it, so you got to sell me on it. You got to get my attention, right? Got to get my attention. And so get people to your home. People who would never come to your business, that would come to your business if you open a storefront in the downtown of your hometown. Those are the first people that you ask to show up for your classes. Those are my first 12 that I had in my class. And then you sit on your couch, you open the book, and you read the script. That one act of just reading the paper is enough to build to a diamond ship. That one act. People tell me all the time, Sarah, I can't sell anything. You don't have to sell anything. You have to read 3 pieces of paper. Okay? If you can read 3 pieces of paper and you can read it in a way that shows that you are passionate about the oils, that conveys your love for oils and how they have impacted your life, then you will have lifelong oilers that follow you to the end of the world. They really, truly will. I mean, I was shocked when I did my first class because I read that script and then 6 out of the 12 ended up getting kits, and I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? They actually listen to me? What's going on here, right? But they want something better. They want something that isn't going to hurt their family. They want something that isn't going to tax their liver, right? They want to make better choices. They're just waiting for somebody to lead them there. And that is where you come in, right? That's where you come in. And so read the script. When I look at all of the actions that I did over the 2.5 years that it took for me to get to diamond, running a retail storefront, I did it. It didn't build my diamond ship. Going for aromatherapy certifications, I did it. It had nothing to do with me ranking diamond. Doing make and take classes, 70% of people did them, never made them again. They never ordered on their VO, right? And so virtual office. So it didn't build me to diamond. Immersing myself in nonstop leadership training. Leadership training is great, and I'm a huge advocate for it. I'm kind of doing it right now, and I wrote like a huge book on leadership, right? But it was that one simple act. It wasn't a leadership training. It was the one simple act of reading the script that grew my team and nothing else. What script? The script in the back of the game plan book. All right. The 101 script in the back of the game plan book is what got me to diamond. That's how I grew my team. So if I have to simplify it to just one action, that's it. Read the script in whatever way that looks like for you, right? But I will tell you, corporate at convention this year said 72% of all kit sales come from in-person classes. They did a tally to see how many people are out there sharing and how they're doing it. 72% came from either one-on-ones or one-on-5s or one-on-3s or one-on-20s, right? Or if you're maybe a one-on-50 person, that's fine. Only 21% came from other forms of sharing, and 7% came from all ways of teaching. So if you're talking vendor events, Instagram, social media, right? So do those methods work? Yes. There are diamonds that have built all the way using Instagram only. My challenge to you is if you don't have a background using Instagram or you've never written for a blog before, why are you trying to learn a brand new skill when you've never done it in your life, right? You could sit down and read 3 pages on your couch. That you can do. Don't go launch a blog because you think that's the way that you build your Young Living business if you have no experience launching a blog or doing anything on Instagram ever in your life, right? Ever. So if 72% of people are out there doing it by just building those relationships with people, and I'll tell you, if you're building online, you still have to build relationships with people. It's just done digitally, all right? If 72% are doing it in person, and those are the ones that are ranking up, then maybe you should try it, right? Maybe you should give it a shot. So let's see here where I last start there. How often should you teach? 4 to 6 classes a month. 4 to 6 a month. That's how often I taught when I first started. We hit silver 12 weeks after I got my starter kit. We hit gold 5 months later. We hit platinum 8 months after that. And we hit diamond 1 year after that. And we are really close to hitting crown diamond right now. Really, really close. I'm calling it for this fall. We're like that close. How did I do it? A class a week. All right, a class a week. If you're doing less than that, you're not investing time in your business. How much money would you make at your 40-hour-a-week job if you work 2 hours a week? How much money would you make if you worked 15 minutes a week? All right, what if you only taught 1 class a month and you committed 2 hours a month to your Young Living business? How much money would you make if you went to your current job 2 hours a month? You wouldn't make very much, right? The nice thing is the Young Living doesn't require 40 hours a week, but you do got to teach. You got to teach. If you're not out there sharing, you're not going to be growing. My time commitment to read that class, to read that script is about 30 to 40 minutes. And then I allow myself time to drive there, drive home, and answer a few questions. So my commitment is about 2 hours to go in and do it. And then I do follow up later on after I'm done. And I talk to the people who came to class, build those relationships with them. So what did my class look like? My class at the beginning, I taught Friday night, Saturday morning, took a week off. Friday night, Saturday morning, took a week off. Friday night, Saturday morning, took a week off. We'll do an entire boot camp night on who do I invite. Okay, Denise, it's coming. So that's what it takes, is the consistent commitment to not treat this business like a hobby. All right, not like a hobby, but like a business, right? Like a business. You get paid like a business when you go into it like a business. The other thing I want to tell you too, because man, I'm seeing a lot of react to this, and don't worry, I've written an entire book on how to get people to come to classes. It's called Unstuck, and it'll be out really soon. I'm almost done with it. But I just want to speak to your spoken word here just for a minute, because I'm seeing a lot of comments on here. But I did this. How do you get people to come to classes? How can you get people to come to four classes a month? I can't get people to respond to me, right? How do you get them to listen to your living room? Can I just speak to one thing real quick? Because we will address that. You've got my word. But there's one thing I want to talk to you about. There is power in the spoken word. Speak life over yourself. Speak life over your business. All right, speak life. Practice the script. It's much easier to read it when you've read it aloud 10 times. Your eyes can glance at the script. You don't need to memorize it, but they can glance. And so that's part of your homework for tonight, is to read that script through 10 times. Then grab your mom, grab your best friend, and read it to them on their couch. Say it in the mirror a few times, and then do it before them before your first class, because you can do this. So what does that look like? All right, it's important you share your story first, how you got your kit, why you love oils so much, and then you just read through it. I've also got 2 closes at the end of that in the appendix, and you can tack one of those closes on the end, and it'll show them how to get their kit. It's built right into the book. Maybe you're too timid and you just really can't. You just can't. All right, you've tried to read the script. You're totally okay playing hostess, but you're not okay reading the script. You're just, you're stumbling, stuttering through it. I created this for those of you that are too timid to teach. It's called the Intro to Young Living DVD. It's got Why Do Young Living as a Business in the back of it, which is how I picked up 800 business builders in 2 years, because I just tease the business opportunity at the end of every 101 class. I'm not leading with the business. I always lead with the product, because 92% of the people on your team are product users, not business builders, right? But the other DVD in there is the entire 101 class recorded. So if you're scared, you literally invite him to your home, share your story for a minute or 2, and you just pop the DVD in and you hit play. And it's already got the close built into it. So I've got 45 silvers on my team right now. I had 13 when I did the last boot camp. Of those 45, there's only 2 that are extroverted. Only 2 silvers on my team that are not afraid, all right, that are okay speaking in front of people. And so, it means you can build. You can build even if you are afraid. But if you're terrified and you're okay playing hostess, that's an option too for you. Now, I mentioned just a moment ago about your speech and how important it is that you speak life over yourself, right? And so I just want to speak to that for just a moment, and then we're going to wrap up because I'm about 2 minutes over time here. Proverbs 18:21 says, since we have the same spirit of faith according to what has been written, I believed and so I spoke. We also believe and so we also speak. Proverbs 18:21, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. Isaiah 55:11, so is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but I will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it. Can you hear my heart on this? Your words either bless or curse your business. They bless it or they curse it. So when you wake up every single day and you say, I can't do this, no one will listen to me, I can't get people to come to class, I can't find leaders, no one will get on essential awards, I can't seem to get my OGV to move, I have plateaued, you are cursing your business with every word out of your mouth, right? So speak life. Right? Speak life over it until you believe the words that are coming out of your mouth, even if it feels fake, even if it feels like it's emotion that you're just going through, you speak life again, right? And you'll be blown away at what starts to happen because your dreams start to come true. They start to actually come to fruition for you. Case in point, I made a vision board about 1.5 years ago. I put on there all the desires of my heart. I mean, really weird things like I've wanted for 20 years for my kids to sleep on organic mattresses, but we didn't want to drop the money on them because it was so expensive. And I wanted a boat. Right? It's kind of a weird thing, but I grew up on a boat. My grandparents had a sailboat, and so it meant a lot to me. We weren't wealthy, but my grandparents were better off than we were, and so they would take me out in the summers on these boats, and we would spend the night on them. And then my dad found a boat on the side of the road with holes in it. He patched it in, and he took us out tubing in this little speedboat till that thing died. And then when I was 14, I decided to become a scuba diver, and I found some friends that did it, and I went with them. And then I did 300 log dives down in the Atlantic Ocean. And so I love boats. I'm at home in the water with my feet on the sand on the beach, and I wanted my kids to have that experience. So I put a boat on my vision board, and I was really specific about it. I found a picture of exactly the one I wanted. It had to hold 8 people. It had to go fast. It had to have a blue cover. It had to have a cover that pulled over my husband's head because he doesn't like being out in the sun, and that's the only way I could get him on the boat. And it had to have a radio so we could listen to it, right? So I made my vision board, and a week later, my assistant walks in. She says, Sarah, I know it's kind of a weird thing to ask, but my parents have a boat for sale, and they're just at a point in their life where they really aren't using it anymore. And my dad's got some medical issues, and he could use the income, and it's half off. It's in great condition. And would you like it? It's blue. It seats 8 people. It's a speedboat. It's got a little cover that goes over. It got a radio that plays kind of loud, and I just stood there, goosebumps all over my arms, everything, right? And I was like, Lord, you even thought of the boat, right? Just the silly desire of my heart to share a piece of my childhood, right? And so it's so important to be specific over your goals. Don't put down you want to be a world crown diamond. God knows that. But can you do it in the next 6 months? Put down the things that really just hit you here, right? Everything on my vision board has happened. And I believe it's because I spoke it into existence. I spoke it over my life. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got it, right? You got it. And so you'll be blown away at what starts to happen when you start speaking those things over yourself. Start speaking those dreams over yourself. Start speaking the things that you've been wanting for your family for 20 years over yourself, because we serve a great big God that loves to love on his kids, right? So get out there and let him love on you. When you're speaking death over your business and you're cursing with every word out of your mouth, you sure don't leave a lot of opportunity for the Lord to move in your life, right? Because all you're doing is speaking death. Don't do that. Don't do that, right? So, chapter 4, and I'm already over time, so I'm going to do this in 3 minutes. Avoiding pitfalls. These are the 6 mistakes that every stagnant business builder makes. So when I step back and I look out over all the things that they're doing wrong, it usually falls into one of these categories. Not 100% of the time, but 90% of the time, it's one of these 6 things. So what I'm giving you these to you for is so that you can see these potholes in the road, and especially if you plateau, just check yourself against it. All right, check yourself against it. So they end, but they don't have a strong close. Why is a close so important with your class that you're teaching? Because you can't be afraid of telling people where to order, right? You can't be afraid of saying, hey, you know what? I started with a starter kit. It's the only thing on Young Living site that's half off. I'm a frugal mom. I want to save you money. It's where I began. I can't teach you oils if you want one bottle of oil. I can teach you oils if you have a playground. If you got a diffuser and 11 bottles of oil, now I can teach you oils, right? Now we can really study together. And so you got to have that close in the end of it, or you're not going to have the power at the end of your speech, right? And it's really important that they catch the fire and the vigor, and that you tell them where to begin. You got to tell them where to start. They gave up their afternoon, their evening to learn about oils, and they need to know where to begin. And you're robbing them of that when you don't tell them. The reason people don't have a strong close is they're afraid of being salesy to their friends. It's not about sales, guys. It's about loving people more than your fear, right? It's not about sales. It's about meeting them where they are. It's about loving them past that fear of saying, hey, this is where you start. It's really more about you than it is about them at that point. If you can get over yourself, you're not afraid to tell them where to begin. Right? So have a strong close on your lecture. The second thing is they keep tapping the same friend circles over and over and over and over and over again. They ask the same people again and again and again, or the same circle of friends. They put a poster up at church, nobody comes. Poster up at church, nobody comes. Run an ad in the newspaper, nobody comes. Show up at a Panera Bread and expect people to walk in the door and just sit down and talk oils with them. Well, that's fine if you strike up the person at the table next to you. But if you're waiting for them to come sit down next to you and they don't even know who you are, that's not effective, right? Opening a retail storefront, selling all the oils in the front of your store. All right, you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck by building relationships with people and meeting people's needs just in your everyday life than you are dropping $2,000 a month and stocking hand soap and hoping people walk in your door and get a starter kit, right? Not effective and very expensive, and most importantly, not duplicatable. Your team can't drop that much money, right, and copy what you're doing. So if you have a retail storefront, you're scaring them away. Right? You're scaring them away. You got to ask them. You got to ask yourself if every single thing that you do can be copied. If it can't be copied, then why are you doing it? Grabbing a 3-page script, sitting on your couch, people can copy that. Dropping $2,000 and stuff for your retail storefront, they can't copy that. They can't drop that check, right? So build relationships with people. Remember the humans outside your front door. That's how you build your business. The third place I see people get stuck, they don't market long enough or give enough time before class. They put a post up on Facebook and they expect all 200 of their friends to walk in the front door, right? It doesn't work that way. People need a reason to come to you. They're busy, right? They need to be oiled, see the purpose in it, and then they will follow the oil, right? They'll follow, but you got to build those relationships first. You can't just put a post on Facebook and expect people to show up. So that's a third mistake I see, is you're just not marketing correctly, or you're not marketing long enough. You put the post up 2 days before class. People don't have time to get there. The fourth thing is they don't have a system for following up. So, man, I've got entire teams of people that have signed 100 people in the organization. They're all zeros, every single one of them. I have a powerhouse tool for helping you get people on Essential Rewards. We're going to talk about it when we do the follow-up chapter, which is coming. It's coming. So that's a mistake that I see. They don't touch base with them after they get the kit. You got to talk to people twice, not once, twice. Once when they get their kit and once after they get their kit, so you can train the lifestyle. Don't train the starter kit, train the lifestyle. Then you have lifelong oilers. Number 5, they don't treat their business as a business. They're not out there teaching. They quit teaching. They're waiting for other people to teach for them. They're waiting for the rock star leader that carries their OGV. If you plateaued, I would bet my bippies that that's what's going on. You slipped into leader mode and you stopped teaching. All right, even diamonds have to teach, guys. There's diamonds on right now with us. Some amazing, beautiful, shining diamonds. And if they don't teach, they're going to lose their rank, right? You have to teach. You have to. Because just because you got a couple of powerhouse leaders on a few legs doesn't mean you got the other 2 or 3 legs in place to maintain your rank, right? So you got to get out there and share. Don't stop doing the things that grew your business in the first place. And last up, number 6, they get distracted. They're out there doing stuff that doesn't grow their business, right? They stop doing the things that grew their business in the first place. Don't get distracted. We're going to do an entire training on all the distractions in Young Living, but those are the big areas that I see people slip and fall. And then they say network marketing doesn't work. Network marketing does work, or we wouldn't have 450 diamonds, okay? It does work, or we wouldn't have had 100 new diamonds this last year. It absolutely works. People are finding a way, and it's not because they're extroverted or they know tons of people or have a lot of money. It's because they're doing the things that actually grow their business, right? The things that actually grow it. So if I could tell you just one thing, only one thing that would cause the most growth in your organization, it would be to teach. It solves most of those things. right? Scrolling through Facebook. Huge time waster, right? So if you can't find leaders, you haven't taught enough classes yet to find your leaders. You got to get out there and teach. So now I want you to focus on homework. You're going to be writing out the 6 mistakes. Tell me which one you're stuck on, and then tell me how you get out of it. Tell me what you do to get out of it, right? Don't worry about filling classes yet. That training is coming. For now, I want you to practice the 101 script. That's Appendix A in the game plan books. You're going to look like a dork standing in front of your mirror tonight. Your spouse is going to come in and say, why are you talking to yourself in the mirror? And you're going to say, Sarah said, I have to practice the script, right? You're just going to get more confident, and it's going to roll off your tongue. It has nothing to do with memorizing it. It's just confidence, right? I want to make you confident. Teresa, we got tons of training coming up on how to get people to classes, so don't worry about that yet. The second edition's got that updated 101 script with new language on purity, info on seed to seal, Young Living as a company. Read it to your family and use this sentence to get the first people in your door. Use this. I'm working on a new script and I'd like somebody to see it. May I practice on you? Would you let me practice on you? You say that to your 5 closest friends. I highly doubt they're going to say no to you, all right? If you get really good at one-on-ones, then you can keep using that line well after the first few people that you get that you read it to, okay? I'm going to repeat that again. I'm working on a new script. I'd like somebody to see it. May I practice on you? Would that be okay? Please, you're going to help me with my confidence level, right? Just start with that. Start from that place. So, tomorrow is one of the hardest nights of all 12 nights of boot camp. I'm just going to give you a heads up. We're going to tackle every excuse, and then I'm going to take you on a 5-minute tour of the Young Living virtual office. The excuses section is not for the faint of heart, so I want you to put on your armor when you're coming into training tomorrow night and just be ready. All right, just be ready knowing what we're going to tackle in your head. But it's okay because you're a diamond rising and you have what it takes to get through, right? You have what it takes. So vision boards, I want you to cut out words you want spoken over your business, goals you have for the next 6 to 12 months, what paycheck you want to make, what rank you want to hit. You write out that paycheck with a number you want on it. You sign Mary Young's name on it. I just given you permission to forge the CEO's name, right? Put that on there. Put pictures of what you want in your life, right? And just speak that stuff out over you. And please be specific, right? Please, please, please. If you're not specific, God's not going to answer you specifically. So write those little boards out, right? Even if you just got a piece of paper and you do it on there, even if you don't have magazines you can cut out, then just write the words out. You don't need a lot of money to buy a lot of magazines. You just speak out over what you want on yourself. And then you put it in a place where you can see it all the time. I know it sounds weird. You're getting out your rubber cement and your kid's scissors, right? And I've got you talking yourself in the mirror. Like, this is definitely a jacked up night of homework. But I swear to you, it works. Okay, it really, truly works. So I'm going to see you at the same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. I'm so proud of you for making it this far. You are 1/6 of the way through Game Plan Boot Camp. You're rocking it. Now, if you don't have the book and the workbook, you can still get it. And the fastest way to get it at this point is on Amazon Prime. Make sure you get the one with the blue bar, the updated second edition on the book and the workbook. The other place that you can get it is if you head over to my website, which is oilabilityteam.com. right here, and you just go to the shop button and you'll see all the books right there under the shop button. Another thing I want to show you that we just added to the website is a Game Plan Bootcamp page. So what I'm doing is we're collecting all the videos off of Facebook and we're putting them right on this page. So if you can't find them or you get behind, you can hop on here and you can see all the videos. Now, this is the original boot camp. It had 25 videos. Most of them were an hour to an hour and a half long, right? These are much tighter, 20, 25 minutes, right? And they're going to be right above it. It's the abridged boot camp right there. So why are there 2 boot camps? Because I want you to have a tighter one so that your leaders will stick with it and finish it all the way through. 170,000 people have done Game Plan Boot Camp. 1.5 million have used the book, right? And I promise you, I'm never going to pull that old boot camp down for those of you that love the passion and the fire and the content. You can use it with your seasoned leaders or refresher for your team. But if you need something more concise that hits the key elements of the game plan content, then the abridged boot camp is for you. So may this bless you guys, and may it just bless your teams in ways that you could never imagine. If you could see how many people are praying over your teams right now, literally thousands. We have thousands of people on their knees over your teams right now. And the word that the Lord just keeps bringing to mind for me for this boot camp is fruit. right? It's fruit. OGV growth, fire, direction, focus. It's because I know who you are. You have the blood of a Royal Crown diamond inside you, and you are going all the way. I believe in you, and I'm going to see you tomorrow night for boot camp. Thank you for getting on. Thank you for fighting for your business, for fighting for your family. You have what it takes to go all the way because you're sitting right here right now. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow night.